A leader who's seen transformation up close and helped lead it, Mr. Mg Raghuraman.
The most challenging thing was to groom my team, to be business oriented, to be client oriented.
What really stands out in your journey is the way you straddle both operation leadership and high level advisory roles.
Today's young leaders are very smart, okay? In the sense, knowledge, tools, technology are all available for all of them.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Charu Mehra, and today I'm truly excited because the guest joining me has not only built an impressive career, but has done it with depth, clarity, and purpose. Joining us today is Mr. Mg Raghuraman, a leader who's seen transformation up close and helped lead it, especially in spaces that demand strong governance, strategy, and leadership. Mr. Raghuraman, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Charu, for introducing me. You are very kind. And of course, thank you very much for this platform where I can do some reflection and share my insights. Thank you very much again.
Absolutely. And I'm sure our listeners are going to take away a lot from this. I've been going through your journey, sir, and what really stood out to me is how you've consistently aligned operations with vision, whether in leadership roles or navigating complex transitions.
See, in my now almost 40 odd years of work experience, I've held leadership positions all through my life. But the key thing which I've noticed is, or rather the key missing link for success between vision and execution is that alignment.
Right,
And if that goes missing, quickly get left behind in whatever you do as a leader.
right. Wow, wow. That and I love that.
Mm.
And that's
Mm.
exactly what we will unpack today. How to lead through change, how governance and
Mm.
structure fuel performance, and what it really takes to be future ready in today's dynamic world. So let's get started. So, MG, before we dive into the specific of your wonderful journey, I'd like to step back and, in your own words, if you can just take us through your career journey, how it all started, the turning points, the learning curves, anything you'd like to share about your journey with us.
Um, I can't help starting with my school days. I was in an
Absolutely.
army school from
Wow.
age 10 to 17,
Wow. Hmm.
and prefect, vice captain, house captain, etc., etc. I think
Great.
perhaps there the seeds of what I call leadership
Leadership.
aspirations yeah, was sown into me.
Right.
And after my engineering, I joined the Indian Railway Service.
Hmm.
Those days is, and I had suddenly a bug which bit me of wanting to get into the IAS. So after joining the Railway Service, I wrote the IAS exam, civil service exam, and as luck would have it, or ill luck would have it, I got IPS and not IAS. I was off by about 40 ranks. But my mother said, okay, stay in railways for some reason. And
Hmm.
so I continued in railways. So those days was a passion for me to, do something for government, people,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Young, you see. The money was not very good. My first job after marriage, when I wanted to buy a refrigerator, the guy refused to give me a loan because my salary was less than 1,000 rupees. Can you believe it?
Oh
And
my
I used to
God.
I
Oh
felt
my
so
God.
insulted. But the railways gave me a terrific foundation. Like
Right.
it, see, you are a leader from day one. At the age of 22, I had 1,600 people reporting to me, and I didn't
Wow.
have a clue as to what leadership meant. You know, and as years of railways gives you a lot of opportunities for you to gain, groom your leadership skills and demonstrate them.
Right.
There is nothing like somebody calling you and telling you this is your goal for this year, this is what you're going to achieve. You infer them as a government officer, as a railway
Right.
officer. Very different. So after 22 years, I was additional division railway manager in Southern Railway in
Wow.
Chennai. Suddenly, one day, one fine morning, I got an opportunity. Someone said, "Hey, you're working so hard. You love your job. Why don't you show the same passion in private sector? You will make tons of money." Can you believe it? That didn't inspire me. What
Mm-hmm.
really happened was I was getting transferred, beginning to get
Okay.
transferred frequently.
Hmm. Hmm.
And my daughter was at the 11th standard, and so I my plan B, and I just called this guy and said, "Can I? What is this opportunity about?" It
Right.
was EDS, Electronic Data System, one of the big global companies those days in IT services.
Right.
And because of my people skills, that's what they thought. They hired me. Can you believe it? I was hired without my CV written. So, and I quit railways and then joined IT industry, private sector, IT, global, all things new to me.
Right.
That was the kind of, you are learning swimming, jumping into the deep end of the pool. No time to practice and float. But that taught me a lot of things. You
Mhm.
see, learning to live on your own, learning to stand on your confidence to move up.
Right.
No one to teach you, no one to groom you, no one to do nothing for you. Okay. But I can't do anything other than succeed. That's how it was.
Wow, wow.
Because failure was no option. I quit railways and joined IT industry.
Right, right,
And then it was a matter of time from delivery head, I managed P&L and I traveled abroad, culture differences, Australia, USA, a lot of times, Japan, Okinawa, Malaysia, and exposures and opportunities. And it's just like, the ripe fruit for plucking. And
right,
as soon as I became president, I became chief operating officer, COO, and last 6 years as CIO of the company.
right. Wow.
Excellent point. And 60, I quit. Wife said, quit. How long are you going to come? But then I quit corporate world from regular job to becoming a professional coach. I'm an ICF
Right.
certified coach,
Wow.
and I now coach corporates and leaders. I love it. I enjoy it now.
Wow. Wow, that's really wonderful, MG, and I really appreciate how you reflected on your story so honestly, like you talking about, you not getting a loan, and it's really, it's really grounded that you're able to talk, you're opening up like that, and you worn many hats, and it's inspiring to hear how each role added a new layer to your journey. So kudos to you.
See, sometimes some of these triggers which happen for your change in your career, you don't really invite them so much.
Right, right,
They happen and, you know, you have to grab them. Grab
right.
them for your good. It just turned out well for me. Yeah.
That's wonderful, wonderful. So, MG, you've led IT strategy and transformation across continents. You spoke about, having opportunities to work in different countries, continents like North America to the UK and Australia. And that kind of global exposure isn't just technical, it becomes deeply human. Cultural shifts happen, expectations differ, yet impact must stay consistent. What inner compass or guiding principles have helped you lead effectively across such diverse landscapes?
Initially, it was not easy learning this. See,
Right,
all of us come with our baggages, right? The way you're grown up, your experiences, your past life, your education, your environment.
right,
In they invariably build in a kind of a mindset in you where there's a natural bias certain things. Your value systems, your beliefs,
hmm,
your behaviors are all driven by that. And suddenly
right,
you're exposed to not conflicting, different environments,
different,
different cultures. It takes a while. In fact, I thought this was one of the best things which happened because of IT industry, which exposed us to clients. See, in the railways, I was having consumers, customers, the railway
Right,
passengers, and our
right,
freight users. I was not anywhere near client centric those days,
right,
like the way I was when I was in the IT industry. I'm not joking. Client centricity, customer orientation becomes so critical for your success
right,
in
right.
this those days very competitive IT world. That was
Mm-hmm.
my first shift in learning that wait a minute. People, business, and client. People means
Right,
your team. There's always a dilemma where to focus. You want to be a great people leader, business leader, or make things for your clients.
right.
I realized that client is absolutely non-compromisable, non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing which I was driven to learn when I was dealing with different cultures. If
Right.
you focused on the client business, client benefits, all
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the things kind of fall into place very quickly.
Please, agreed,
Alignment becomes easy. You
agreed.
can groom your team, you can groom yourself,
Right.
you can adopt different business models,
Mhm.
but then be client centric.
Agreed,
So that
agreed.
was what I learned.
Wow.
I'm telling you, dealing with American clients, clients in England and clients in Australia, very different,
Very
very different.
different. Agreed, agreed. I've had my set of clients in the past, so I can totally relate to it. So I understand where you're coming from. The expectations are entirely different.
The first thing I learned was getting my team to say no
Uh,
is
And
not
that's,
a
I
thing.
guess, when it comes to client, we tend to say yes to everything that they are, demanding. So
And to
that's a
be
really
honest
good
with you,
skill.
yeah, and honestly, most clients are not unreasonable. I would
Right,
call them very
right,
reasonable. See, they demand things from you that is not unreasonable. It's for
right,
you to meet that demands with reasonable returns and reasonable
right, right.
and unless you talk, they're going to assume things. So
Agreed,
this was a
agreed.
problem early days in especially IT outsourcing with Indian
Mhm.
employees, Indian people. See, we are like to please people, right? It's
Oh,
natural in India.
absolutely. Yes, yes, agreed.
And because of that, we run the risk of making commitments that we cannot honor.
Cannot. Mhm.
That was my early learning that you make commitments and you jolly well honor them come what may. Therefore, be careful about how you make commitments. That doesn't mean you lower your commitments. Raise the
Right,
bar continuously, but
absolutely.
learn the skills to meet those bars. That's the
Right,
idea.
right, right. Wow, wow. That's so fascinating, the way you've adapted across borders while staying rooted in core values. That's quite a strength. Yeah, so I was asking, being named one of India's top 50 CIOs 3 years in a row is an achievement in itself. It's a recognition not just of excellence, but consistency at the highest level. And I can imagine that kind of acknowledgement comes from more than just ticking boxes. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. In your experience, what really separates a good CIO from the one who leaves a lasting transformational impact on the business and the people within it?
You said it. See, I'm not a true IT technology leader of the CIO. I was more a business leader, right?
Right, right.
For me, the key thing about being a successful CEO is first of all asking yourself this question: why are you a CIO?
Right.
You are a CIO to help your business's clients. There is a client, there is your business in your leadership in your organization, and you are
Mm-hmm.
CIO.
Right.
Now, technology for the sake of technology or being savvy about things, that's not so important
Mm.
as to what transformations you can bring for your business. And luckily, because of my earlier experience of delivery with American clients, I
Clients.
realized that that is a key element in my CIO job.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge was to groom your team. Your
Right.
team is a bunch of talented, professional, passionate IT technology guys.
Right. Right.
You tell them that, hey, this is not your priority. Your priority is business.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you're talking a tough language with them.
Right.
Tough play is not easy to avoid with technology oriented people.
Right.
So for me, the most challenging thing was to groom my team to be business oriented, to be client oriented, and find solutions, technical solutions for business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, of course, very popular with my business leaders. Maybe my teams were thinking, wait a minute, this guy is not a good CIO. But eventually, I think they all learned it that for you to succeed as the CIO team, you got to
Mm-hmm.
make the business succeed. And
Right.
that was my key learning and key value that drove my CIO life.
Wow, wow. That's so incredible, MG. And it's easy to focus on systems and outcomes, but it's the mindset and the intent behind them that truly creates a ripple effect. And your intent has
You know what?
always. Uh-huh.
Sorry to,
No
this just
worries.
reminded me. The one key measure I was measured as a CIO
Mm-hmm.
was IT cost over the revenue of the company. You can bring your IT costs low and become very successful. No,
Right, right.
the business will get impacted and revenue will not grow. You got to contribute to growth, but still
Agreed.
keep this factor low. That's
Right.
where the trick was.
Wow.
And I enjoyed that measure because it drove me, challenged me to be innovative, groom my team and make changes, transformations, and things like that.
Wow, wow, that's incredible. And congratulations for that
Mhm.
achievement, MG. That's really wonderful. So, what really stands out in your journey is the way you've straddled both operation leadership and high-level advisory roles, be it with CII or Airtel's Tech Forum. And I imagine when you're a part of those policy level conversations, you're not just thinking about tech, but also about people, industry ecosystems, and long term impact. So I'm curious, how has, being in those strategic, sometimes macro level spaces influenced the way you've approached transformation within organizations?
Let me address it in two parts.
Mhm.
See, as part of this strategy within your company, where you are
Right,
accountable for implementing strategy, executing, and getting results,
right,
there, the marriage between strategizing and execution, of course, I told you it's alignment. So
right.
you can be a brilliant strategist, focused on execution, but if you got the middle piece wrong, you can't get either of them done.
Agreed.
I mean, they are like three murtis, right? You can't compromise. When you're doing macro level consulting, like my role in CII or in Airtel Technology Advisory
Right,
Forum, there you're really not accountable for your results, but you have a responsibility. Like even when I was a member of the POSH committee in my own company,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Those are advisory roles and strategic roles which help shape the leaders rather than you are not directly accountable for action.
Right, right,
In my
right.
current role as a coach, I coach corporate leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I see the the difference in being a leader of your team and empowering leaders in this coaching role. Um, so there's a difference in the way you answer. I don't know whether I've answered your question correctly. This is at a macro level, you've got to play a different role. And,
Agreed.
you need, I love this word called executive presence.
Wow.
I help
Yes.
people in developing that executive presence in lead. You talked about macro level leadership, right? Strategic positions. I believe a true leader is one who mobilizes others to act towards which goals? Towards organizational goals. But is it really theoretical? what about your own goals?
Agreed.
So the best thing is if your goals are indistinguishable from the organization goals.
Mm-hmm.
If you align your goals, personal
Goals.
goals, with the org goals and mobilize the team to achieve those goals, then it's wonderful,
Right. Oh,
right?
wow. Wow.
It is not always easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But uh, but if you did that, you you will take accountability for the outcome. But
Right.
you're focusing on mobilizing people to do what they should do towards organization goals. And your style can be anything. It doesn't really matter. I've seen different types of leaders. I myself have changed my leadership style sometimes to suit the kind of teams and organizations I work with.
Right.
But the idea is get the people around you to help you achieve your goals and the organization goals.
Organization goals. Wow.
And
Yeah,
if they
so.
see in
Mm-hmm.
their actions the direct connection between their own personal goals and the own, then you are
Organize.
done.
Right, right. Wow, wow. And whatever you just said, it highlights how leadership isn't just about execution, but also
Yeah,
about, yeah, absorbing broader currents and turning them into action. So, as you said, aligning your goals with the organization goals. So, that's wonderful.
yeah,
So, MG, with
very true.
all that depth of experience and such multifaceted journey behind you, I'm curious to know what's next for you when you look into the future? What are the spaces that you're excited to step into?
Yeah. See, last 8 years, doing coaching, executive coaching, corporate
Right.
leaders. Um, this is absolutely incredible. I enjoy every minute. When I see when I see the help that I can make and leaders transform themselves
Right,
from
right.
driving people to do work to empowering people to do work. There's a particular client whom we are coaching now, who
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the metamorphosis in his leadership style.
Wow,
And,
wow.
and that gives me a lot of fulfillment and happiness that catalyze some change in people.
Right, right.
So today's young leaders are very smart, okay? In the sense, knowledge, tools, technology are all available for all of them.
Agreed.
It's how they make the best use of it to create best outcomes. The small difference is the mindset, leadership mindset.
Mm-hmm.
In my belief, today leadership has become more critical than ever before
Right,
because
right.
you've got so many choices. Charu, I can tell you this.
I'm sure.
You know, you can do the way you want. There are freedom to choose
Right.
as long as you focus on the end business outcomes. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, it's lovely to coach and consult people, which is what I do. By the way, I
Right.
also teach in the university. I teach executive MBA students
Wow,
in
wow.
Dayanand Sagar University. That is to keep me in touch with the young kids, like generations.
Right.
You learn a lot from them because you know
I'm sure.
it,
I'm
it
sure.
helps me. It helps me change and align again to the changing times.
Right.
And you ask me what I look forward to. I look forward to help create more leaders. That's what I enjoy now.
Wow, wow.
And
Wow.
and of course, executive presence is something which I'm working on how to build it in young leaders. So
Mhm.
they not only are very good at, operations and running is vital. You got
Right,
to earn your money.
right.
Quarterly revenues are important. Let's not forget it. But disruptional changes, transformational changes have also got to happen.
Mhm.
The tension is between the run and change for any leader,
Right.
and if you can help the leaders to balance both,
Balance. Mhm.
balance sometimes this more, and get the right balance, they're going to reach the sky.
Wow,
That's what I
wow.
like.
Amazing, that's such a powerful way to look at your next chapter. Like, having that positive impact and enabling the future generations of leaders. So it's
Yes,
inspiring to hear how your purpose continues to drive your path forward. So kudos to you, sir.
thank you.
So, MG, over the years, we've seen how environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, factors have moved from being just buzzwords to boardroom priorities. Given your vast leadership and coaching experience, how do you see ESG shaping leadership accountability today?
Look at it this way. Look at our evolution of our families, right?
Right.
Our parents create rules and make you follow them.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, the rules are not so important. It is slowly through the rules they imbibe some values in you, some
Values.
belief
Agreed.
systems.
Agreed.
See, I am of the opinion that all these corporate laws, regulations, governance, compliance, etc., should become a part of your value system, not a part of why and what should you do. It's not a
Right.
question of why you should do. It's a must. It's a value. So if you are able to in, build that in
Right.
corporate leadership,
Right.
not only the top leaders, it's the middle, the lower level leaders,
Bottom.
it's a
Agreed.
project manager.
Agreed.
It should be part of a value system. In which case, it becomes a lot easier for organizations to comply and still succeed,
Right.
and
Right.
not take audits and compliance as a pain in the neck for you to
Mm-hmm.
go through every year, like the way we submit our ITR every year. If you are able to develop that, it should get imbibed in you. I
Right.
suppose that's the best thing. I realized this when I was a POSH committee chairman, not chairman, but one of the POSH committee members in Mphasis for nearly 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was very important for, you know, telling employees about their rights, about their
Right.
where they should stand up for themselves and for their friends or their
Right.
peers,
Right.
uh, and not get intimidated by power
Mm-hmm.
equations or relationships. So once the value sets in, then it becomes a lot easier. You don't
Law.
have to implement rules.
Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Such a grounded and progressive
Mm.
perspective you gave there, MG. And and agreed, like if you embed the ESG principles in your values, it becomes,
Yes,
it, 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 it doesn't, it becomes an enabler rather than an obstruction.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's like
Right.
traffic signals. Initially, you get punished for, you know, running a red signal, right? But
Right.
then for a period of time, it gets into you. The moment you see the orange, you slow down.
Slow
And
down. Agreed.
because you know this, it's not for your safety alone, it's for other safety.
Right. 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 Yeah. And ESG isn't just about policies, but also about how leaders show up and make decisions every day. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And they have to be role models for people down
Right.
below. And
Right.
every leader is a role model for the people
Agreed.
for whom he is working. Yeah.
Right, right. Wow. So, MG, you recently joined Directors Institute and have had a chance to engage with its offering. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What drew you to the platform and how has been your experience so far?
You are just, the pilot flame has been turned on in me.
Wow.
I never thought about this aspect of an opportunity or a career.
Right, right.
Of course, I'm going to continue to be a coach, which is what I
Mm-hmm.
love and teach. But this is something which now almost fits in like a T to me, to my aspirations, my
Right,
purpose at this stage of my life,
right.
where I can make a significant contribution to corporates. To be honest with you, I love the idea of I was telling you about that balance between run and change in
Right,
leaders.
right.
Each situation is different. So if I'm able to do the fly on the wall or a mirror for the leaders, for them to bounce off what they want and consult themselves to make that change, I think this engagement with Directors Institute will hopefully I gain the right skills and
Hopefully.
add to my existing ones and be ready for this kind of a role in future.
Wow. Wow, that's really insightful, MG. And it's really wonderful to see that leaders like yourself who already have such vast experience, they're still open to, learn skills, and they still find room for growth, reflection, and learning. So that's wonderful. And I wish that the curriculum aligns with your aspirations and help you achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So all the best for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You
Wow.
said the right word, learning. As you grow older, you got to get younger in learning. In the
Learning,
sense,
absolutely.
every year I set myself some challenges that I'll do a new course or learn something new.
Wow,
Like
wow.
especially the last 5 years, it's not just to be relevant and
Right.
to stay ahead of the race. It is to keep that passion for learning all the time running, because that is one thing I've realized that you can get complacent about that. You have tons of experience, you have gone through this, and therefore you can bank on this. No, no, no.
Right,
That's
right.
good, but not enough. Something
Absolutely.
new.
And right, agreed. And audience of this interview and me myself, we will take a lot of pointers from this conversation we had today. So thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you,
that
Charles.
with us. So, MG, this has been such an enriching conversation today. From your journey in the Indian Railways to steering global IT transformations and now shaping leaders through executive coaching, what a remarkable arc of purpose and impact.
Thank you. You're being kind.
And I'm sure our audience is walking away not just with insights on leadership and transformation, but with a sense of what it means to evolve continuously and lead with intention. MG, thank you once again for your time and candor. And it's been an absolute honor having you here today. And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep learning, stay inspired, and remember, great leaders never stop growing. Thank you.